In a recent video, I posted about how Angel Reese is highly overrated. Now, of course, nobody actually watched the entire video. They only looked at the thumbnail and the title, so they got all inflamed. And somebody in particular asked me to make a video on Caitlyn Clark. So here I am, making a video about how Caitlyn Clark is also overrated. Now, unfortunately, I can't find any game tape on her lowlights, which shows you a lot about her fans, but also shows you about how great she's been. But in any case, I'm going to look at some of her highlights, and I'm going to pick apart what she could have done better and why so many of her highlights aren't necessarily because of her skill, but more so because of her lack of competition. And I'll explain in this video. So with no further ado, let's dive in. Drives. See, she just gets dropped, but it's not even that impressive of a move. If you look at it, it's not even that impressive of a move. Okay, she just drops herself. Like, she's quick with a change of direction, but she very easily could have stood up there. That was not necessarily a Caitlyn Clark highlight because she doesn't have a float game. She doesn't really have anything like that. That's a great behind-the-back pass. Can't hate on that. That's a fantastic behind-the-back pass, and she can make that all day long because she's probably the best passer in the league. I don't know why I said probably. She is the best passer in the league. Though she telegraphed it, and you could see it with the eyes right there. She telegraphed it way back. She telegraphed this pass right there. She's been telegraphing it, and yet number 6 doesn't see the telegraph. That's just a clear push-off. Great 3. Can't hate on the actual shot, but that's just a clear push-off. Can't deny it. Like, that's a full arm extension. Defender has every right to be mad. Still closed out well. Credit to 35, but that's a clear push-off. That's a great find. But it's also lazy defense by 21. What is that defense? How do you let a backdoor cut? What are you doing? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, 21? What are we doing? Man and ball. Woman and ball. What are we doing? She's looking at Caitlyn Clark, but she's also not getting her man. And she's clearly not communicating to any of her teammates that, hey, my man, the person rolling, this girl, this woman, is cutting, and somebody needs to pick her up. She's not communicating. She's throwing her arms out, but now she's lazy, and now she doesn't know where she's at, and easy layup. Great find by Caitlyn Clark. Terrible defense there. Terrible defense there. Oh, and another thing to pick apart here, if you really want me to, is whenever she does this, she floats to the side, but because her set point is so low, and because her game is so dominated by three-pointers and layups, it's very easy to contest this. It's very easy to sit on this 3 and really come up on her hard. Because whenever you know that she's either going to shoot the 3 or drive, you don't have to worry about a hesitation. She doesn't have a hesitation, which makes her very easy to guard if you understand what she's doing. But for some reason, the WNBA can't seem to grasp that she is an analytics player to the T. She's going to pass, she's going to shoot 3s, and she's going to get to the rim. Still haven't grasped that, so they bite really hard and they allow that pass to get off. Be disciplined. She can't shoot. She doesn't have a hezi. That's just a good change of direction, but there's nothing impressive in the change of direction other than the speed. The speed is nice, but the actual dribbling isn't that great. And the contest is late. And when I say the dribbling isn't that great, I'm not saying that it isn't crisp. I'm just saying she's not shifting her body at all. It's a quick change of pace dribble. It's a quick change of direction dribble that we would have worked on in 6th or 7th grade. Whenever you would try out for the team, if you tried out for your basketball team, you know this. They would set up cones, full court, and you would have to run up to the cone with your right hand between the leg. Get low, between the leg. Next cone, left hand, between the leg. You would just do these quick change of direction dribbles. And that's what she's really good at, but it's a basic thing. It's a very, very basic thing. It's a hyper basic thing. And I think she gets a little bit too much glaze for her ball handling when, in fact, it is the simplest form of ball handling you could do. She's mastered it better than anyone in the WNBA, but I think that showcases more of where the WNBA is at, more so than where she's at, if I'm being nitpicky. And where's she at here? Now, that's just a dumb shot attempt by whoever that was, but it's good for her to be cognizant to come in for that weak side block. That is terrible defense. I don't know why you're not on Caitlyn Clark at all times. Like right here. There's 3 people in the paint. Caitlyn Clark isn't really even deceptive in coming over for that. So you should have had more awareness to not go up for that so lazily. Now this, let's see what this is. Now that was a genuinely great pass. No telegraph. Came out of nowhere. That's fantastic in transition. It's kind of telegraphed, actually. Now that you can see it from her eyes, you can see that she's not actually looking toward the basket at all, or other players at all. Now that is just an FU3. There's nothing you can do about that. And that's what makes her so great, is that her range goes all the way out to the logo. When you have somebody that can shoot from the logo consistently, your offense is going to be better because everybody's going to have more space. And even the worst offensive player, given space, can look great. That's just a great pass. That's just a great pass. Miscommunication, but that's just a great pass. That's a laser beam. That's a laser beam. That is just a laser beam. There's no hate on that whatsoever. Gets ripped, gets it back. Nice. And again, what do you do with that, right? What do you do with that? And this is what already makes her better than someone like Angel Reese, is that even on a broken play like this, she can always just launch up a 30-foot three, and there's really nothing you can do about it because she's going to hit it at a 34% clip, which is very good for WNBA standards. That is a very good play right there. Terrible defense by the Aces, but very good using her eyes and then dropping that off at the last second. That's very good. That's just fundamental great play right there. Trail three, you have to pick up. You have to pick up. You have to pick up right here. You have to pick up. Who's coming out here? One getting the ball, another person getting the ball. Who's going to pick up Caitlyn Clark, though? Nobody's going to pick her up. Everybody's getting to the rim. Why are you getting to the rim? The old advice of get back and protect the basket in transition does not work anymore because everybody launches threes and they do so at a very high clip. They do so at a very high percentage. You can't just get back and protect the paint. It doesn't work, especially with somebody like Caitlyn Clark, the best shooter in your game. You have to communicate. What are you doing getting on her? What are you doing? What are you doing? You need to get on Caitlyn. So that's lazy defense right there. Great three, but lazy defense. Terrible defense, in fact. That's just a horrible pass by her. That's a miscommunication, way to read it. But these are, quote-unquote, embarrassing the defense highlights. Some of them are more so the defense embarrassing themselves. That's just a great wrap. That might have been a travel, though. If we look under the basket, that might have been a travel. Let's see here. Not a push-off. Yeah, she got away with a little bit of it's a little herky-jerky. See, and there's no hesitation here. If we go back, there's no hesitation. Caitlyn Clark is fantastic, but you know what would make her game way better? If here she had a hezi, right? She doesn't hezi it here. If she hezied it, then she wouldn't have to have so much contact on this drive because she's quicker than her defender, but she doesn't sell it with a hezi. If she sells with a hezi, you get more of a bite. She's going to be able to get a better angle. She doesn't have to fight so hard for that. She's much easier to defend because she does not have a hesitation dribble. And now that is just poor defense by whoever that is. You need to play that harder. You need to play that harder because there's no hesitation coming. You need to expect that there's going to be a three. Play that harder. Why are you scared of the drive? You should have backup. I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Not a push-off. Good footwork. Great three. That's just a solid play. Maybe a push-off. Full extension on the arm, if not close. I don't necessarily like that. You may say, oh, but that's a weak call. What are we going to call that? You can't stiff arm all the way. Full extension? Are you kidding me? You could do this. I was always taught this. You have this. You have the elbow room. You have the elbow room. Kind of like you're doing a lateral raise on the machine. You have an elbow room that you can work with. You can bump with the body. You can bump with the shoulder. But you can't do this. Jason Tatum gets away with that all the time. I hate it. I hate it. So many players get away with it. That might have been another case. That's a good closeout, and she just knocks it down. That's a good closeout. Even that is a good closeout. Even that is a good closeout. She's just going to knock it down. This is where the debate kind of ends. This is where it always ended. This is where it really ceased to begin, was the fact that she can create offense, Angel Reese cannot. It's very simple. Keep her in jail, good. Maybe a little bit too much of an arm extension there while she had her defender in jail, but still. I mean, right here, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see all the way out. They let you get away with it. It's technically legal. I don't like it, though, because it gives you way too much of an advantage on offense because you're essentially pushing the defender out of the way. Yes, you may say, oh, well, you're just getting space. No, you're pushing. I don't like that. It's legal, but I don't like that. And that's just clean. Tough to get over that screen. You can bitch and complain all you want. Might have been trial. I'm not sure. I don't know how you call it. I think it's clean in today's game. Should it be? Debatable. That's just a great find. Nika Mule has to get back way quicker, though. She has to get back way quicker, though. I mean, you got to pick up. One of you has to pick up. And then right here, you have to understand that you can't go under that screen. You have to go over that screen. You can't go under that screen. That's just terrible defense. That's just not reading the scouting report. That's just not listening to any major news outlet station over the past fucking 2 years that she's been playing basketball. It's terrible. You just can't do that. But all in all, Caitlyn Clark is just a better player than Angel Reese. I think she has a lot to improve on, though. Like I said, hesitation. She needs to put that into her bag. Mid-range jumper. Has to get that into her bag. More of a floater game. Put that into her bag. She has a little bit of post work that she does, but she doesn't really have a floater. Floater, mid-range, hesitation. If she did that, she would take a level up that we couldn't even comprehend. She'd be averaging 24 a game with 9-10 assists, and she would look like the best female player of all time by such a wide margin it wouldn't even be funny because of her range from three, because of her IQ, because of her passing ability, because of her way to run in transition, and because she is a good weak side defender. She also could use some more work breaking defenders down. I think all female players could work on this. I have not seen a woman's player outside of Juju, outside of Maya Moore, outside of maybe a little bit of Brianna Stewart, maybe a little bit of Asia, but I haven't seen that many female players outside of the very, very, very best that can legitimately play off triple threat and that can break defenders down in ISO with 5, 6, 7, 8 dribbles. I'm not saying you need that. You shouldn't, but I don't see a lot of that ISO game that is so prevalent in the NBA. I think they need to add that. I think that's the next evolution of the WNBA is more female players that can do that. And if Caitlyn were to add that, she would be even better. Because right now she is very concentrated in a few areas. Threes, layups, passing, running in transition. She's like Tyrese. And in the WNBA, Tyrese is the best player outside of a few others. But if she were to play in the NBA with this play style, she would look like Tyrese. She would be very good, but she would not be incredible. She would not be Steph Curry of the WNBA, if that makes sense. But with any case, let me know what you think about this. Comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Much love, peace. This is New Da Vinci. Have a blessed day or evening, depending on what time it is for you.